This is the Effing One Podcast, Australia's only Formula One podcast with Adam and Luke.
G'day and welcome to Effing One Podcast, Australia's only dedicated Formula One podcast. If you're wondering why we're whispering slightly, it's because it's 1 a.m, Melbourne time, and we've got neighbours and these walls are thin.
Very thin.
Very thin. Day 2 at the Casa del Travel Lodge, the palatial twin room with a kettle, a minibar, and a magical view of the building 10 metres away. Hi, Mrs. Thompson. We're podcasting at 1 a.m.
Put your tits away.
They're saggy. They're a little saggy. It was practice session 1 and 2 today, when the curtain of secrecy, the disguise of testing is ripped away, and we learn who actually looks fast and who looks Williams. Sorry. Who looks slow? Force the habit. We are going to have, guess what, Luke? We're going to have,
What are you going to have?
Dan Ricciardo. Who says Dan Ricciardo? It
Webber.
annoys me. when they
Mark
say
Webber,
Dan.
he's the one who says it.
Yeah.
He says it Ricciardo.
Webber's gone mental, though. He's lost it since he jumped out of that cockpit.
Too many accidents.
Dan Ricciardo is on Effing One Podcast today, so stand by. Esteban Ocon is joining us on this
French
podcast. We've been very busy in the paddock today, mate. We've got paddock passes. Unbelievable. And we are also going to sit down with, Sean Kelly, the encyclopedia, human encyclopedia of Formula One.
He's a genius.
He is a genius, and he said he'll be more of a feature going forward on Effing One Podcast.
We're going to hold him to it for at least this weekend.
He did say that, whether or not he follows through, but that is big news, because if he don't know it, it ain't knowing.
Yeah. That was me yesterday.
That's
and then
true.
what I did, and I'd like to take the time right now to apologise to all the listeners.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Awkward.
We were very tired. Not as tired as we are now.
Well, can we just say that our number one podcast listener
Yeah. Smushy McTransfish.
picked you up on this straight away, first thing this morning, and said, "Oh, welcome back, 2018. Nice one, Luke."
Yes, he said that's an interesting recollection of the Australian Grand Prix, and he was completely right. I got the names around the wrong way. Vettel won the 2018 Australian Grand Prix. The same scenario, switched names.
Not Lewis.
Ferrari, my apologies. You have incredible math skills
Well done, Smushy McTransfish.
for picking that up. Well done, Cliff.
And in fact, you met him today at the Grand Prix.
Yeah, got to meet Cliff and his little
That's
daughter.
awesome.
He was really nice.
I wasn't there, apologies. But
I'm glad you're apologising.
yeah, I was busy getting audio of Dan Ricciardo, so just go easy on me, yeah?
And the team bosses. And then
Team bosses.
Chase Carey.
Press
Jean Todt.
conferences. It's ridiculous. I don't know how we got these
So
passes.
while you were hobnobbing, getting the exclusive scoops and outstanding audio, I was pounding around the track, taking photos and watching the cars from turns 9, 10, 14 and 15.
Yep.
That was impressive.
Some good photos. We're going to
some
be
nice
on
stuff.
on the Effing One podcast Instagram page. Check them out. Luke is, by day, it must be said, a professional photographer. That's what you do.
Yeah, I press a button.
Who would have thought that this is not your main income source, podcasting? Because
I think everyone who listens knows.
Because you sound so good.
Yeah, you're very tired.
I'm very tired. Anything at 1 o'clock in the morning sounds good. It's like the last girl in the bar when you're drunk and
She's got that.
let's move on.
She's got that lean.
I wouldn't know
that
that.
come at me lean.
Yeah. So let's jump headfirst down into the Australian Grand Prix, day 2 of practice. And Luke, how did you find, who looked the goods in practice?
Well, I'd have to say it was Mercedes. Mercedes showed their hand today.
Didn't they?
And their hands were impressive. No calluses, clean as a whistle, and they are a good chunk ahead of what seems to be Ferrari.
Well, let's not say that just yet, because we don't know
I can't
if
retract that as well.
you're going to have to, because Smushy McTransfish is going to pick you up again. No, because we don't know that Ferrari showed their hand. In fact, Dan said in the
It's when you were speaking to him.
Renault press conferences outside the garage, he said that he doesn't think that Ferrari showed their hand, but he did say that Mercedes has shown their hand.
They have.
So,
and it's all going to be different, but today was more about long fuel runs, bit of fuel in the car, and seeing how the tyre deck goes on race pace.
yep.
And Mercedes look really, really good.
They do look good.
They look good, and they could possibly...
I think we know more about the order of the way things are going to be today than we did yesterday and than we did in testing. This is more of a realistic look, but still it won't be completely clear until tomorrow qualifying.
Over the GPTV broadcast, Sean Kelly mentioned that perhaps Mercedes could do a Q2 run, which would be the tyres they start on for the race. They could do a Q2 run on hards and start the race on hards, because Charles Leclerc did a long run on hards and the tyres look pretty decent.
That's pretty confident. That's a confident move, considering Melbourne's not that easy to pass on.
Daniel did say it was going to be a one-stop strategy. Mm-hmm. So it could be hards for a long period of time.
And the Renaults didn't look great in that first practice session.
Had a few issues. Electronics with Nico.
Yep.
And Daniel had a bit of a seat issue.
Yep.
Eating too many pork pies.
Too many.
I think it was down at Stalactites.
Delicious. We had a very delicious souvlaki today. Melbourne being the home of Greek food, the biggest Greek population outside of Athens.
That's
they
pretty
do
impressive.
a good lamb.
Yeah.
Very nice lamb.
Yeah, they had measurements wrong on the belts that strapped Daniel into the car.
Yeah. So in the first practice session, I think Dan was down in 15th. Nico might have been in 11th, something like that. Didn't look good. But practice 2, suddenly the Renaults turn up and we're looking like they were 7th and 8th respectively.
Yep, behind Kimi and then Verstappen, 2 Ferraris. Two Ferraris and the 2 Mercedes.
Yep. So at the end of the practice sessions today, you would say that Ferrari and Mercedes are both the standout, with Red Bull very close behind. There was only 0.5 of a second separating the first 6 cars. Very, very close, until Mercedes pulled out the very fast lap times.
And then they're like 8/10 clear.
8/10 clear,
place,
correct.
yeah.
But up until that point, it was very, very close. So we still think that there's a bit that Ferrari's not showing us. So it is very interesting to see what's going to happen tomorrow.
A few people ran wide, had spins today.
Yep.
Leclerc, Albon, Kimi went wide, Vettel went wide. Daniel looked nice in his new helmet too.
Love
it's
the
very
new helmet.
striking.
Love the new helmet.
And like his helmet,
Yep.
what does it say on the side of the helmet?
What does it say on the side of the helmet?
Stop being them.
Stop being them?
Stop being them.
Stop being them.
So that's what we do. We're not like everyone else.
No.
No one else makes up shit like we do.
Everyone else has a
We
normal
are
podcast.
unique.
Everyone else has a factual podcast. This is tailored made for your mum, Mrs. Luke.
Shit. Yeah, we do it so well.
That's so good. Well, how else do you think we got those passes to pit lane?
I just thought you sucked dick.
I hate to disappoint you.
You did.
It was fantastic. I'm very good.
You're good.
It was all bullshit. You bumped into the Human Encyclopedia of Formula One,
Sean
Kelly, and you threw in a couple of suggestions that we've been coming up with over the last 12 months or so about how we can make Formula One great again.
Yeah, I've followed him on Twitter for a while, and finally had a chance to chat with him, talk about things about F1, and then
it took a bit of a turn when you started suggesting the shopping bag challenge, the reverse parking challenge, which we would love to see to spice up Formula One.
It's one of our great ideas.
And this is how it went down.
Sean Kelly, Virtual Statman on Twitter. How's the weekend going?
It's been a strange weekend because obviously with the news yesterday about Charlie Whiting, it sort of tempered everything. Everybody was in. Every time you come here, it's always a good mood. Start of the season, everybody's optimistic about their team, their driver, what the fortunes might be, and that kind of took the wind out of everyone's sails yesterday. But as always, and as Charlie would always want, the show goes on. We're going to have a race this weekend, and it is still Australia. It is still another season, and there is still the happiness that racing is back.
Yeah. Explain to the listeners what your job actually entails.
Well, if you'll excuse the sound of a V10 Formula One engine going past. My job entails making sure everything you hear in a TV broadcast or indeed on the circuit's public address broadcast is accurate in terms of stats, historical referencing, spotting, all that sort of stuff. So a lot of the prep is done in advance, and then once you get to the racetrack, it's a case of cherry picking with the bits you feel like you need to know, and putting it out on the air when it's the best time to do it.
That's great, mate. Here at F1, we like to make F1 great again. We come up with a few different ideas on how to make Formula One great. And one of the ideas is a shopping bag challenge. So we put shopping bags on the appendages of the car, barge boards, side mirrors, and if they break any eggs, spill any milk, they get reduced points, or they get time added to their... What do you think about these ideas?
Well, I think the first thing you've got to ask is, are the bags plastic or paper?
Of course they're paper.
Okay,
we are very
good.
environmentally friendly here at the podcast.
Because you destroy the oceans otherwise. And then the second thing is the Formula One car in question, is it vegan?
It's not vegan.
It's not vegan.
Not vegan.
Well, you're behind the times already. I mean, you've got to... Is there kale?
There's kale. There's a lot of kale.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't want like baked beans and stuff like that. That's so 1980s.
That is very 80s.
You'd be out of date right then. Maybe if a car has manual transmission, baked beans.
And no power steering.
No power steering. You are right. Yeah.
Carlos Sainz said it would be undrivable to drive a modern Formula One car with no power steering.
Yeah, and he found out briefly today in FP1 when the power steering failed going into turn 11. So, maybe we should ask him again what it feels like.
How long do you think balancing an egg on a front wing would be before it would fall off? Braking would be difficult, but trying to get around a corner while keeping an egg on the front wing.
Well, why don't you just crack the egg on it?
You could do that.
And then it'll stay on there longer.
Stay on there forever.
Yeah.
And you could cook an egg on the exhaust.
Yeah. See? Well, then it'll be there. Then it'd be a bastard to get rid of. Then you'd be stuck with it.
That would be terrible for drag, though.
It would be terrible, but on
Delicious.
the other hand, it would be wonderfully high in protein and
also not vegan.
And it wouldn't be vegan, and it's too much cholesterol.
Yeah. What's the most impressive thing you've ever seen on a Formula One track?
In person or
yes, in person?
In person. Good question.
Do you get to the track much?
I usually come around like 3 or 4 times a year.
Yeah.
It varies with whatever my role is.
Yeah.
I like to cherry pick the good ones. That's why I'm here.
Yeah.
I like to go to Monaco and Montreal, and
nice choices.
I was in Abu Dhabi, and try and avoid going to like Shanghai or Sochi or the less desirable ones. Yeah.
We have an idea. They qualify in the local dish, like eating the local dish while they qualify. So here would probably be meat pie.
Right.
Then a hot soup.
Yeah.
China hot soup, maybe some dumplings.
The most impressive thing I ever saw at a racetrack, Alan Jones, Adelaide, 1986.
Yeah.
Whole qualifying lap, had a packet of Tim Tams on the front wing. Didn't fall off.
That's
I don't know what happened.
That's what we could do.
I don't know what happened to the egg, but the Tim Tams stayed there. I'm just saying.
That's it. We're going to put Tim Tams on front wings tomorrow.
Yep, it should be Tim Tams there. Yep.
That's what Sean does. He does it every week. Thanks, Sean, for your time.
You are welcome. Would you like a Tim Tam?
I love a Tim Tam.
All right.
What a genius. That guy has a photographic memory. That's why they call him the human
Tim Tams.
F1 encyclopedia. Tim Tams.
I just want Tim Tams right now. On Alan Jones' front wing for an entire qualifying lap. I just think it wasn't going fast enough.
Is that true?
I just think it wasn't. It's come from
It's
Sean
gotta
Kelly.
Be. I trust him. He's the human encyclopedia.
I'd put my hand on him and swear to a judge.
So an entire lap with a packet of Tim Tams.
I just think he wasn't going fast enough.
It must have been.
He's a world champ, but
yeah, or he's that good that he could balance it. He would correct it every time the Tim Tams looked like they were about to fall.
I think the eggs was a silly idea.
The Tim Tams
that I put up, but the Tim Tams, that's got merit. Would you go a single coat or double coat?
See, we thought we were being silly with the eggs. Reality is actually way sillier.
Reality.
That's reality.
It happened 20-odd years ago.
Get your effing one podcast
30-odd years ago.
reality goggles on, because Tim Tams on the dashboard of a Formula One car just fucking happened.
Yep.
Making F1 great. That's what we do. That's what we strive to do.
We try. Sometimes we hit the mark. Sometimes
we very rarely.
Sometimes we're really tired and
let's be honest.
Put out this piece of shit.
We very rarely succeed in doing anything.
I think we've done it twice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember them, but
no, nor can I. But I think Liberty Media have been listening to us. I think they finally opened that briefcase we delivered to Liberty Media last year, just because Chase Carey today with Sean Todd at the press conference did make mention that Formula One needs more personalities and needs more...
Well, there goes 75% of the grid.
Yeah. Let's be honest. There's only Dan Ricciardo for personality, and I'm struggling. I'm struggling.
There's a gap to second.
I mean, Hamilton has a personality, but it's slightly annoying.
I think one-on-one might be different. If you're not media, if you're a genuine person.
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
But
you saw that today. You
yes,
saw evidence of that today.
I did.
He was very nice to some kids, and when the camera's not on him, he's a super duper guy. It's kind of the opposite of most people. Of course, they've introduced the bonus point for the fastest lap in the race, which is a great idea. We actually did our own survey. Your job today, having a chat with Esteban Ocon.
Had a bit of a chat.
Mercedes-Benz reserve driver.
He's got a bit of spare time at the moment.
But we think he might be busy next year
driving
think so. When the boring Finn...
Which one's that?
Oh, they're all boring. Every single Finn that's ever been driving a Formula One car has been
Mika
boring.
Häkkinen's got more character and personality now than I think that was ever portrayed. I think they all have personality. It's just not in front of a camera or towards people.
It's the temperature. Yeah, no, you're right. It's
maybe at home they're genuine, warm, open.
Yep.
I think they're all nice.
They're lovely. They're just, not that entertaining.
Talk.
They don't seem like they have a wild streak to them. They'd be good accountants.
Unless they're drunk.
Yeah, vodka, and
then it's fun.
So this is how your chat with Esteban Ocon went.
No problem. I've got a silly question. Formula One, it's all a bit serious, but if I was to bring in a reverse parking challenge or a shopping bag challenge, so you hang shopping bags off the appendage of the car, barge boards, wing mirrors, they hold shopping bags. And if you break any eggs or spill the milk, what do you think of that idea?
It could be fun. Could be fun for a first day instead of doing all the press conference things. We could do that maybe. That could be fun.
Thanks, mate. No problem.
What a dude! That guy's a dude.
Yeah, he's good fun.
He loved the ideas.
Yeah, I thought I'd better just break it to him and just say silly straight up.
Yep.
Just so it sort of drops the guard because everyone's kind of in business mode around there.
Yep.
Just drop in they're going to be a bit silly. Yeah, it's too serious in F1. It's not what we do.
And it's cool that these guys are open to play around with these, ideas that the Effing One podcast listeners have come up with. Our guys on Twitter have come up with these cool ideas to make Formula One great again.
Yeah.
And these guys are jumping on board. And we're going to have Dan on in a second. And he gets on board as well. So that's...
I dare say all the drivers would appreciate removing the amount of media that they have to do on a Thursday and just go around and...
a bit of fun.
Piss fart around.
Yeah. Jump in go-karts. Have all the drivers driving around in go-karts and the same spec vehicle.
I reckon bumper cars.
Bumper cars. Pinatas over the straight. Look, these ideas. It's an ideas factory.
That's all we do. We just pump them out like Willy Wonka and the Ideas Factory.
Correct.
Yeah. We should trademark that.
Yeah. And,
But I want to cut to... We're getting near the end of this episode. It's a short one.
It is.
But there's a lot of good quality content in there.
Because it's time for bed.
It's time for bed. We've got a big day tomorrow. We've got qualifying,
and
practice.
Another podcast as well.
And another podcast. We've got more content to come out tomorrow. But you, my friend,
me,
had the privilege of speaking with the one, the only, Daniel The Personality Ricciardo.
Yes.
In the paddock.
Correct.
This isn't down the shops. This is in the paddock. You have a pass.
Correct.
That you scan, has your photo, and you walk into the most exclusive area in sport.
That's true. I scammed it, yes.
You scammed it.
And then I scan it and I get in there.
And then you get in.
And there's free sandwiches. Luke,
water.
There's that.
You brought me out a sandwich.
I brought out a sandwich because you look so, I don't know.
Frail.
Sad. You're sad with the common folk. And I came down with my glass of...
Here he is with his glacial water. He told me to drink from a straw because I wasn't allowed to touch the glass with my hands.
Your water came from the bubbler next to the...
And after I drank from the straw, he then told me to destroy the straw.
Yeah.
It's very odd.
I did it
because it's good water.
I didn't feel comfortable watching you continue to drink water from that Portaloo water bubbler next to the Portaloo, and I thought you need some refreshing mountain French Pyrenees.
I could taste the glacial.
cucumber infused.
With a hint of lime?
With a squeeze of lime. Chilled, perfectly temperatured.
You've changed,
And
man.
I brought it out.
Fuck, you've changed.
Once you've been in there, Luke, it's a different world.
On
You
the
just
outside
can't go
looking
back.
in.
You can't go back, Luke.
Standing on the outside looking in. That's me.
That's you. That's you. Whoa. Sandwiches. Delightful sandwiches.
Oh, they were shit. To be honest, they need to pick up their game with sandwiches.
Yeah.
Why don't they have souvlaki in there? You need to pitch that idea
Yeah.
to make the Paddock Club great again.
That is a great idea. Having a rotisserie, a pig on the spit or a lamb on the
Ask
spit.
some of the drivers. What would you think about getting a wood-fired pizza or some souvlaki in on a Saturday afternoon?
Rather than these dodgy, crappy sandwiches you're getting.
No one likes that. You got to start eating the food around those places. Tomorrow we're going to do a bit of a tour of the Australian Grand Prix. We're going to talk about what it's like to be there, what's on track, what's off track, what's in the air. They've got jets flying over. There's good food, pizza, souvlaki, you name it. They've got that kind of food for you. You've got burgers from Grilled. It's good stuff.
Just lovely.
Yeah.
What a feature that would be in pit lane on the paddock, having some rotisserie meat on coals. You got the drivers, you got the meat. You wouldn't know which way to turn. Am I going to interview Dan? Am I going to have some lamb?
Maybe
I don't know.
slippery slide of garlic sauce.
A slip and slide right down the middle of the paddock. In fact, that's the only way you can get down the other end of the paddock is on the slip and slide.
Yeah.
So it's got the little water spout, the fountain, and the detergent, so it's really slippery. You run up, slide.
Now, you don't want detergent. It'll ruin the garlic sauce. You want to eat a bit
That's
of it coming down.
Yeah.
Because I can see you just licking the side of the slide.
It's true. Maybe the garlic sauce is in replacement of the water. So it's just a garlic slip and slide.
Yeah, all the way down.
All the way down. We can refine this. We'll work on it.
Yeah, it's
a work in progress. It's a work in
Don't quote
progress.
us on this.
But let's focus on the task at hand.
So, you spoke with Dan.
Ricciardo. He just finished.
You spoke.
I know.
You motherfucker.
I know.
I tried to talk to him on Thursday, and I tried to get a walk and talk while he's doing the walk of the Melbourne walk.
Yeah.
Where he signs all the autographs, takes selfies and that with people. And I got an okay from one person at Renault, and then the next lady at Renault said, this is more for the fans. Let's just do this later. And she goes, he's having interviews in the paddock later. And I was this close to go, but I don't have a paddock pass.
I can't go in there.
So I missed out, but
Good news.
this is why we have you.
Correct. But the good news is we have contacts now that have told us that we will be able to have regular Dan interviews on
about to say
this
something else.
podcast.
Regular.
Huh? What?
No, we didn't. Regular something else.
Okay. You're tired.
Oh, yeah.
You're so tired. You get grumpy and you start talking sexy
I'm not
talk when you're
grumpy.
tired. Stop talking
I'm
sexy
not
talk.
grumpy. I do talk sexy talk.
Just relax. So let's get to the Dan Ricciardo bit.
Oh, we put it off long enough.
Because
It's time for you to listen.
stop teasing it. Let's just play the audio. This is him after he's
You talking.
he's finished with every TV interview. He's the last person out of the area. Kubica was the second last. He's spoken to everyone he could possibly. He comes back, and it's just me and him going for a walk back to the Renault pit area.
How are you, mate?
How you going?
I just noticed that you're the last person in there.
Yeah,
You take interviews from everyone.
I talk a lot. It's unfortunately an Australian trait. We talk too much.
It's kind of your trademark. Just wait until everyone leaves and just stay there. Be the last person talking.
Yeah, it was all right. No, it's a first race, so journalists and that have been a bit quiet for a few months, so try and give them a little bit of extra time this weekend.
Cool. One last question. Could we get a shoey if you get a podium? Does it have to be first place? Can you go third place, go shoey?
I think because the bar's a little lower now with Renault, I would do a shoey on either step of the podium.
Yes!
So, yeah, it's not only going to be a win, unless we start winning every race, or podiuming every race.
How good is that?
Yeah.
Would you like to see, maybe the bonus point is now in, maybe some more things like reverse parking challenge for bonus points?
Definitely not. Race car drivers can't park, so no one would be getting any bonus points there.
Shopping bag challenge where you got like eggs and perishables and you do a qualifying lap and every egg you break you lose a second? Clever, not clever?
Not clever.
Thanks, Dan. Awesome, brother.
What a man.
What a man. What a dude. See how fast you talk when you get nervous? I was talking really fast.
Yeah.
That's me and Dan.
Well, even when I was talking to Esteban Ocon, I could not get my sentence out.
And the thing is, you get so excited, you end up talking over the top of them. And I'm thinking, what am I doing? Stop talking. Let Dan talk.
Yeah.
I'm so worried that he's going to walk away and ignore my question that I keep filling the space with talking. Shut up, Adam. Let Dan talk. But
we're all Australians here.
Hey,
we talk a lot.
We do talk a lot.
So it makes a point. And on that note, we're going to stop talking.
Yes.
We're going to get to bed.
Yep.
So we're going to give you a good podcast next time.
Yep.
And
hopefully we'll be a bit more refreshed. And but we hope you enjoyed it. And we got another one coming up tomorrow. We've got the qualifying podcast.
We do, qualifying.
For the Australian.
Third practice tomorrow. Find out who's going to start from pole position. And a quick shout out to Mum.
Mrs. Luke.
She's had her wedding anniversary today and they're taking off on their caravan trip.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye for now.
Bye.